Okay.
But you are somewhat live, so.
We are?
Yeah. You want to sing your favorite song a cappella, you can do so.
Can you wire? Can you?
I'm over here. Just wait a minute.
We'll be starting. People get ready in just a couple of minutes. Hang on to your seats.
Momentarily.
Hope everybody enjoyed that little quick shower we had today.
Of course.
A little thunder, a little bit of rain.
I left my windows down.
Oh, in your car? Oh, they got wet inside? Oh,
All my papers.
oh, gosh.
And that song was called Be Ready, right?
Yes.
Don't have it. Sorry, you can start.
You can sing a cappella?
People get ready, for the train is coming. Don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the diesel humming. Don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord. Welcome, viewing audience and listening audience, to the People Get Ready podcast with the legendary political guru, Mr. Charles E. Bibb Sr. from Bibb's Record Shop. Come on, everybody, give it up for the star of the show, Mr. Charles E. Bibb Sr. Take it away, Mr. Bibbs.
Thank you, Reverend Ben Fair. You're so kind with your words. I really appreciate it. And after
Absolutely.
this busy day we had today, man, I mean, this was some kind of day. And people get ready. It's just what we need.
Yes,
and
sir.
that's what when Reverend Ben Fair saying people get ready, we need them to get ready today because we have some awesome news from all over the country for our listening audience, which is all over the country and around the world.
Yes, sir.
Is Miss Vivian Sharp in the house?
Mr. Bibb, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, live and living color. Go right ahead, Miss Vivian Sharp. Tell us about your awesome business.
I will do just that. And thank you. Hello and welcome. I am Minister Vivian Louise Sharp. Come be with us on my exclusive Discover Yourself streaming radio app, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, except leap year, 366 days a year. Enjoy music, interviews, and various potpourri people on your Apple or Google Play app. SharpParagon@gmail.com is my email. 216-307-5100 is my number. 216-307-5100 is my number. Discover yourself. Discover yourself. Discover yourself. Over and out. Mr.
Thank you.
Bibb, back to you.
Thank you, Minister Vivian Louise Sharp, and wishing you well on your new business.
Thank
and
you.
I want to have our audience. We had one of our close allies and friends, family, the daughter-in-law of Reverend E. Theophilus Cavins of the Greater Abyssinia Baptist Church. We send our condolences out, and we will have Miss Candace Jones, who works along with her in Euclid, Ohio, as council person, speak to it. Miss Candace Jones, would you come to the floor, please?
Thank you, Mr. Bibb. And on behalf of the People Get Ready podcast, hosted by Mr. Charles E. Bibb Sr., we would like to express our deepest sympathy for the passing of Councilwoman Stefana Cavanis. Our prayers and thoughts are with the family. Visitation will take place Thursday, July 14th, 2022, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Calhoun Funeral Home, 23000 Rockside Road, Bedford Heights, Ohio, 44146. Funeral services will be Friday, July 15th, 2022 at noon at the Great Abyssinia Baptist Church, 1161 East 105th Street, Cleveland, 44108. I had the pleasure of working with Stefana on Euclid City Council. I was elected to City Council in 2008. In 2012, the councilman of Ward 1 had to step down from council, leaving an open position. Based on the charter of the City of Euclid, council was able to select a replacement to fill that position until the next general election. There were a number of Ward 1 residents that applied for that position, Stefana Cavanis being one of them. I remember that she was so impressive during the interview process that she was going through the other council members. Stefana was selected as the Ward 1 representative to finish the term until November 2013 when the election took place. In November of 2013, with that election, Stefana ran unopposed and was elected councilwoman for Ward 1. From July 1st, 2012 to July 7th, 2022, Stefana was a true public servant. No matter what she was going through, she was always had the community, the residents in the city at the forefront of her thoughts and planning. We are grateful to be a part of her dash in her lifetime. She always shared her love for God, her family, and community. I am so glad that she was able to see the completion of the Euclid Avenue wall rebuilt on Euclid Avenue. I'm so glad that she was able to see that completion. Our prayers and blessings are with the family. One other thing that Stefana was advocate about was people getting out to vote. So on behalf of Stefana Cavanis, please get out and vote in the August 2nd election and the November general election, because she would be telling you to get out and vote. So please take the opportunity to do that. August 2nd is the primary election for the state of Ohio. Please get out and vote for the state senate and the state rep positions. Thank you.
Thank you, former Councilwoman Candace Jones from Euclid, Ohio. It kind of brings back memory, too, because the first time I met you, Ms. Candace Jones, it was at a Black Women's Political Action Committee event, and Mrs. Cavanis told me what a fine councilwoman you were at that time, because she had worked under you. So she had worked on you, so she knew exactly what she was talking about. And so I'll be talking to her father-in-law about that when we talk again, which will be probably Friday in person, but tonight we'll talk about today's event. Thank you. Ms. Candace Jones, don't get too far from the mic, because everybody who listens to business, Reverend Ben Fair,
Yes, sir.
and James Jerome Bell, know we're in the highest inflation in 41 years. And we know we had the highest gas prices ever.
Ever in history.
The president is out the country now, Mr. James Jerome Bell, trying to cut a deal on oil to try to get the gasoline back where it was a year ago. Almost $2 higher now than it was. It's coming down slow. So Ms. Candace Jones, would you share with us some business opportunities and tell us about our business over here.
Yes. So for those of you that listened to last week's podcast, we talked about a double hitter. We had a double hitter last weekend. Guess what? We're going to do that again next weekend, the weekend of July 22nd and 23rd, a double hitter with Go Love Life and Snap Delivered. And you want to get your pens and pencils out because there's a lot of great information along with this. On Friday, starting Friday, July 22nd, and Saturday, July 23rd, Go Love Life and Snap Delivered will have events. Go Love Life event will take place in Cleveland, where Robert Dean, who is the global expansion leader and multi-million-dollar earner, will be here in Cleveland. It will be here in Cleveland. The location will be 6200 Rockside Wood Boulevard in Independence, Ohio, 44131 in suite number 320. The event starts at 11 a.m. on that Saturday, July 23rd. You don't want to miss that. It's the Cleveland Microbiome Movement. Then, that weekend, July 22nd, starts the Snap Delivered events. On July 22nd, we'll start the Snap Delivered Disruption University. Friday, July 22nd, live in Dallas, Texas, there will be a corporate event given by Snap Delivered. It starts at 7:30 p.m. Saturday, July 22nd, and then the events will go into Sunday, starting Sunday at 9 a.m. to 5. It's a great opportunity that you want to listen to. So in April, Snap took over Vegas. This month, Snap is going to take over Dallas, Texas.
All right.
So for those of you that can get to Dallas, Texas, that's great. If you can't get to Dallas, Texas, there will be a streaming opportunity here in Cleveland. If you'd like to be a part of the streaming, give me a call, 216-570-4738, and I can let you know, give you all that information on how to do the streaming. And hold on, because we're not finished yet. Coming this Saturday, because you want to hear more about what's going on and what's coming up for Snap Delivered and Go Love Life. Saturday, July 16th, there will be Snap Delivered training. So for those of you who don't know about Snap Delivered, it's a food delivery service that just launched last year. And it's a great opportunity for restaurants because restaurants only charge $2 per delivery instead of the 20, 30, or 40% charges they're getting now. So it's a way for restaurants to help them stay in business. There's opportunities for drivers and customers. So come this Saturday, July 16th, 2022 at 5 p.m. The training will take place at the Chandler Park Building, which is located at 17325 Euclid Avenue in the second floor conference room, suite 2011. We'll also talk about the ERC program, which is an employee retention tax credit program, which employers that have W-2 employees can have a possibility of getting $26,000 per employee back. There's a program that they can get more information about to go through that. So you don't want to miss out on those opportunities next weekend, starting the 22nd through the 23rd of July, and training this weekend.
Great.
Very good. Wealth of information. And that brand new program is going to be explained to everyone this Saturday
Yes.
as part of the training. Okay, we're going to move right along and make up for some of our lost time. And Reverend Ben Fair,
Yes, sir.
are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. Something's been going on in Akron, Ohio. That's been going on all over the world, not just the United States.
Yes.
With them 90 shots, and 6 of them, Brother James Jerome Bill hit one body. And Ben Fair is going to share with us an event we were at last week where we got more information. And I would like him to share with the community what we found out.
Thank you, Mr. Bibb. Yes, we had an opportunity to stand up for the family of Mr. Jalen Walker on Thursday, July the 7th, 2022. The United Pastors and Mission called for an investigation of the police review regarding the deadly police-involved shooting of Jalen Walker in Akron. Bishop Macon is senior pastor of Mount Zion Church in Oakwood and president of the United Pastors and Mission, stated, "Not only are we here to pray, but we want a complete investigation on what happened, why it happened, and who all were involved in the devastation, when and what happened." Bishop Macon stated that President Joe Biden said he wanted no stone unturned. If one stone is unturned, he wants the United States Department of Justice to come into the city of Akron and find all unanswered questions. It will help the family of Jalen Walker, the city of Akron, and the nation make sense of what appears to be a senseless shooting. Dr. Marvin McNichols of Antioch Missionary Baptist Church stated, "We want transparency on how being stopped by a traffic violation ended in 8 police officers shooting Mr. Walker to death. Each officer will be held accountable for each and every bullet fired at and into Mr. Walker." Also, Pastor Dr. C.J. Matthews of Mount Zion Ministry stated, "We are here today because of a mindset, and that mindset is love thy neighbor as thyself." And then after that, we had the benediction by Bishop Marbury. That is our summary and report from on July the 7th, when Pastors and Mission had a press conference on the shooting of our dear brother Jalen Walker in Akron by the police department.
All right. Good job, Brother Ben Fair. And that brings us right up to date. Most of you are aware that Jalen Walker's funeral was held today, and the lawyer had a press conference after that. And next week we'll bring you the second part of the story. So if you'll get in touch with Reverend Macon,
Yes.
and see what we do and find out our next move at the United Pastors and Mission.
Yes, sir.
As far as Akron is concerned. And did you happen to have a letter with you where they invited us to come down to Akron?
No,
to join that ministerial group?
No, I don't have
That group, we will be joining them after the funeral.
Yes.
We didn't want to go down before the funeral. Get all that behind them, and then we can join them from Cleveland. Thank you very kindly.
You're welcome, Mr.
All
Mayor.
right. We have our team here. The hottest thing in Congress this year and the years before this year is what they're going to do about reparations for the African Americans. And finally, a House Bill 40 hit the floor and was passed, and we're going to work on that and see what we're going to do. And I want to see how our committee is coming. Mr. James Jerome Bill, before we get to that, is Ms. Brenda Bickerstaff in the house?
Yes, she is.
Oh, okay, all right. Ms. Brenda Bickerstaff.
Hi, how are you?
So good to hear you and see you, and you really look good on national TV.
Well, I thank you
When you
very
were on
much.
national TV last week, I asked
Yep.
Miss Candace Jones if she got to come back to the real big screen, our podcast. And would you share with our audience what's been going on, bring us right up to date?
Well, there's two things I want to address. First, I attended Jalen Walker's funeral today in Akron, Ohio. I attended his funeral today. Secondly, the issue what I was speaking about on the world news was speaking about how with my voting change of the spike in crime that's occurred along with police accountability. But there's three issues going on here. And the people that are in power and the people who run and want to be elected, they need to address crime and police reform goes under one umbrella. When they realize that, they can address it. But the way they're doing it now, the spike in crime, well, you have a spike in crime, but then you also have to be concerned with police reform because you don't want the police arresting an individual for a crime they didn't commit. So that's why both of these issues are very, very important. And now I want to go back to the Jalen Walker situation. And I really appreciate you pastors.
Let me interrupt you. Let me interrupt you a minute because I'm going to change the program around, and I'm going to postpone Miss Candace Jones, the House Bill 45, because I want her to bring us up to date on the funeral. So I'm just going to go straight through. You can decide, Miss Bickerstaff, which one you want to do first, but you'll be doing both of them now, the funeral and the original subject.
Okay, so I want to go back to the funeral. First of all, I do appreciate all of you pastors going down there, speaking out against this issue. But this is the issue that needs to occur. You say you want a thorough investigation. There is no thorough investigation when the person is responsible for the crime is doing the investigation. They're saying that the investigation is being done by the Attorney General. Most of those individuals who work for the Attorney General that's doing these investigations was a part of the Calvin County Prosecutor's Office, which was corrupt. Now I'm gonna say something, Mr. Bibb, and I'm gonna say something, Reverend Fair. These police officers who keep committing these crimes, they need to go to prison. That's a real issue. If you want to stop all of this brutality and all of these attacks against black and brown people with the police, they need to go to prison. And I will guarantee you it will halt. Now, with the 137 shots in Cleveland, that was awful. So now we turn around 8-9 years later. Here we go again. 90 shots in Akron. We have to get a handle on this. Pastors, I love y'all to death. You guys need to back us on this. Now, Mr. Bibb, you know we did the issue 24 here in Cleveland. They going through the interview process as we speak. They've completed the interview process to select the panel. At the end of the month, they're going to turn those names over to the mayor. Then the mayor has to get approved by city council. But that's just the first part of it. The second part of it, Pastor Bibb, is getting rid of qualified immunity. Qualified immunity is a state law that protects police officers from wrongdoing. And I guarantee you, these officers, they're going to find them justified. And the reason why, because the people who's responsible for causing his death is the same people who's doing the investigation. The police cannot investigate the police. It's just that simple. And the politicians that's running for these positions, we, the voters, need to stand up and step out and stop voting for the people who does not have our best interests at heart. We got to stop doing it. Now, just like they do a pre-sentence investigation on the individual, Pastor Bibb, before they send them to prison, we need to do a pre-voting investigation before we go to that poll and vote. This is going to keep happening. Watch and see what I tell you. Next, it'll be another place in Youngstown or Canton where they're going to shoot somebody 80 or 90 times. Watch and see what I tell you. We got to get a handle on this. It is out of hand.
Let me ask you. I understand the lawyer was supposed to have a press conference after the funeral. Was there a press conference today that you were aware of?
When I left, we saw the lawyer when we left. I know they was going to do a press conference, but they had not done it when we left. Myself, Alicia Kirkman, and Samaria Rice went to the funeral.
Let Fair, do you have it? Go ahead. I'm sorry. Reverend Fair, you have any questions?
No, you talking to me?
No, that's Reverend Fair. Did he have any questions of you?
Oh, okay.
Since she was down there today.
Just what?
Since she was down there today and the subject is acting today.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to ask Ms. Biggerstaff, about how do you feel? I know you kind of gave a little summary of a little bit about how you feel things is going to transpire, but was there any police presence there at the funeral?
No, I saw one deputy sheriff.
Okay. Was there any statements given by any of the speakers, the person that gave the eulogy, on how they felt about how justice should be rendered, or, on the investigation moving forward in terms of transparency and what they anticipate what's going to happen?
No, they just had the full funeral service with the choir singing and the minister preaching the eulogy.
Okay.
So
Now,
today
did they have a...
Today was just mainly for the family. They did the viewing. They had it at the Civic Center, 182 South Main in Akron. It was a full house. It was a beautiful service.
Right. I know the service was a moving service, and I wanted to ask you. I remember that. Did they have was it an open viewing or closed viewing?
No, it was open up until 11 o'clock. You could come and do the viewing up until 11. After that, the viewing was for the families and friends. Then they closed the casket right when the eulogy started.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you very kindly. And we'll be back in touch with you next week. As things develop, we'll be calling on you for more information. And thank you for your participation today.
And thank you for having me.
All right. Miss Vivian L. Sharp. Vivian L. Sharp.
Yes. Yes, sir. I'm right here. Yes, sir.
I understand you and Mr. Dandy is keeping jazz alive. Would you tell us all about your latest commercial, Keeping Jazz Alive?
Oh, yes, definitely. Mr. Jesse Dandy Jr. says jazz is real. He plays jazz that is real. A dandy real jazz recording basis, drums, piano, and vocal. Contact Mr. Dandy Jr. at 440. I'm giving you this at the beginning. Also, 440 343 2871. And you can contact me about more information at 216 307 5100. Now I'm going to give you the history. For 15 years, 1985 to 1999, Mr. Jesse Dandy performed at the Cleveland Clinic, Omni International Hotel, 6 days a week to help ease the pressure on the loved ones and families at the Omni Hotel, which was located at that time at East 96th Street and Carnegie Avenue. Attention, real jazz lovers. Mr. Jesse Dandy Jr. wants you to know that real jazz is still alive and waiting for you to discover it again. Music is therapeutic, says Mr. Jesse Dandy Jr. Purchase and experience again the music ensemble like titles. Have you met Miss Jones? I'll be around. I should care. Mr. Jesse Dandy Jr.'s Jazz Ensemble, jazz that is real. 440 343 2871. Or Minister Vivian Louise Sharp, 216 307 5100. Enjoy return to the jazz music that is therapeutic for all and you. Everything is flowing in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. Music that continues to help you through all times. Something is flowing in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. Music that continues to help you through the times. From Mr. Jesse Dandy Jr.'s Jazz Ensemble, jazz that is real. Get this number, 440 343 2871. Jesse Dandy Jr. or Minister Vivian Louise Sharp, 216 307 5100. And be sure to see Mr. Dandy on Discover Yourself streaming radio app 24 hours a day. Jesse Dandy Jr.'s Jazz Ensemble, jazz that is real. Back to you, Mr. Bibb.
Thank you, Minister Vivian Louise Shaw, bringing jazz back. What a wonderful idea. Speaking of ideas, in Greater Cleveland today was an unusual event. The multi-billion-dollar company, Sherwin-Williams, is being challenged on how they do business in Greater Cleveland. And so we had some people come in from around the country to come and help. And we're going to share with you. Reverend Justice came in from Rainbow Push from Chicago. And Reverend Charles Steele, President and CEO of the Southern Christian Leadership, came in from Atlanta, Georgia. And we have a brand new head of Tri-C, Cuyahoga County Community College, is now in Cleveland. He's a minister also. He came in to help straighten out what's going on with Sherwin-Williams. And we have an all-star panel who joined us all for lunch today. And I'll start off with the ones that are in the house first. Mr. James Jerome Bell, share with the audience some of the things for a few minutes of what happened today at lunch with that all-star cast and Sharon Williams?
Well, I just want to say that it was really, really very remarkable, unifying moment, hopefully in Cleveland history and the black community, where the black trades, clergy can come together and really uplift the community from a standpoint that we can have prosperity in our community. It was really nice seeing Reverend Steele, Reverend Jackson, and others who really took the lead. And I want to thank Reverend Cavanis for hosting it, Greater Abyssinian. It was a great, great turnout, and it really, really affected me because it showed me what can happen when we come together and strive to do something for our community and for our people.
Thank you, Mr. James Jerome Bell. Now we'll take one of our people. We'll take one of our people from Zoom. Is Ms. Wyvon, are you with us?
I am here.
All right. Would you share some of your thoughts of what you witnessed today with Reverend Jesse Jackson and Reverend Charles Steele, President and CEO of the Southern Christian Leadership?
First off, I'd like to say that Reverend Jesse Jackson did a wonderful job dealing with his health issues and still right on target, still in charge fully. He talked about some things that stuck with me. He says we need to buy shares of stock. We need to have a coalition. We have to have jobs and training and contracts and full positions at the table, not partial or percentage positions, but full positions at the table to make decisions in companies like Sherwin-Williams. This one is probably one of the first, and we will go through many. And then he talked about education, which says, take a child to school, meet their teachers, exchange the numbers with them, turn off your TV for 3 hours a night and read those report cards, which will help us in the education portion of what he talked about. And then he says, forget that false pride over dignity, because faith matters. Those were the things that stuck out most with me.
Very good, very good, very good. Reverend Ben Fair,
Yes, sir.
would you share some of your thoughts of what you witnessed today?
Yes, I'd like to just pick up where Ms. Wyvon left off at, and Mr. James Jerome Bell. That Reverend Jackson did an outstanding job. It was a very, very inspirational meeting that we had, and we had a lot of iconic figures in the room, including yourself, Mr. Bibbs. And we want to thank you, and thank Reverend Cavanis, Cleveland leaders, Mr. Norm Edwards, leader of the Black Trades Union. And also, we'd like to thank Reverend Cavanis and the leader, Reverend Charles Steele from SCLC, and also Reverend Jackson, who came all the way from Chicago, who talked about, also he talked about there's too much violence in our community. He says there's too much violence. He says there's too many guns in our community, and our community is hurting. And he said we moved from slavery, we moved from Jim Crow. Now we need to move in the areas of economic development and to help us. And he's saying that we do need to come to the table and bring leaders to the table and have a coalition, to move forward with Sherwin-Williams. It says it's not too hard. It's not something that we can't accomplish. We can do it. And Mr. Norm Edwards talked about the broken promises that Sherman Williams made with them, and we talked about he wanted those broken promises fixed. He wanted the black trades to have a part of this big $600 million project that Sherman Williams is building in the city of Cleveland with taxpayers' money. So he want the black community and the Latino community to join together and be a part of this, because our young people need jobs. And he was stating that our young people go to school, they get degrees, they become engineers and so forth, and they get good grades, 3.5 grade average, and they come out and they come to him and he says they don't have jobs. And we need to do something about this. These companies like Sherman Williams that have the money, they should offer positions and jobs to our communities. And also, Mr. Steele stated that he says that one day he was driving in his car in Atlanta, Georgia, and he said he was looking for the gospel station. And he said, and his guy looking for the gospel station, he said he had to go through the blues. And he heard the blues song. And he said that he felt that that we going through the blues, in order to get what we need. He said he heard the blues song. Someone said that if you love me like you do, like you say you do, why do you treat me like you do? And he said that if Sherman Williams, a company that's been in Cleveland 155 years, love Cleveland the way they say they do, why do they treat Clevelanders like they do? So we need Sherman Williams not to just talk it, but walk it. So, and that's what I got out of the meeting today.
Very good, very good.
And Mr. Bibb, Dr. Gwen Jarvis just joined us, if she wants to make a comment.
Okay, Dr. Glenn Jarvis, so
Yes,
glad
I'm
to
here.
have you as part of our panel. Would you share some of your thoughts with us, please, what you witnessed today?
Okay. I thought it was a very timely and very intimate conversation that Norm held with us today. And what I got out of it, and I hadn't even thought about that, maybe if we do invest in or buy some shares from Sherman Williams, they'll be more apt to, to pay attention to the contractors in the communities, not just in the greater Cleveland area, but throughout the country. So what I did, I looked up, and their stock is really not that expensive. So that's something that perhaps that even on the radio stations that we can talk about to encourage people to buy, because we all buy Sherman Williams paint. We buy the paint. And I know several people through the years who have worked there. So maybe we do need to make that investment.
All right. Maybe we'll have to expand on that. You remember Reverend Jesse Jackson says he want to come back, and I worked with him over the years, and he does a class with stock experts coming in, helping you how to buy stock into these companies. And we will talk to Reverend Cabinets the next time he come. He can stay maybe overnight, and we can have some classes on the stock. And I'll talk to him. I'll let you know how that's going on, Miss Dr. Gwen Jarvis. All right. Anyone else have something they might have missed or thinking about? How about Mr. James Jerome Bell?
Well, I just wanted to say that it brought back a lot of memories seeing Reverend Jackson, because I worked on his 1988 presidential campaign here in Cleveland. And, even though he's going through his health concerns, he still is a very, very inspirational and, unique man. And, I think that what he gives to the effort here in Cleveland with Sherman Williams is really a starting point for the foundation for some very, very good things to happen.
All right. Very good.
Mr. Bibb, we have Jackie Adams on the line also.
Miss Jackie Adams,
Hi, Mr. Bibb.
glad to hear from you this week. Did you want to speak on something at large?
Well, you know what? I did get a request today, and I don't know if you can help me with that. I had a community partner send me an email to ask me if if they're doing anything about the National Night Out Against Crime for Cleveland 2022. Do you know anything about that?
No, but you can call the mayor's hotline in Cleveland.
Okay.
They
Okay.
have the mayor's hotline, and they'll bring you right up to date.
Okay. Well, I just,
Have them,
pardon me?
okay, now have them make the call, and if you don't get the results, then call back and let Miss Candace Jones know one way or the other, and then we'll see till you get some results on that.
Okay, because I'd like to send that information out to the community. And then I just want to mention that Nora is having a produce giveaway expungement clinic resource fair. It's going to be Friday, July the 15th from 12 to 2. And so no residency or income requirements for food, expanded expungement, eligibility may be eligible even if you weren't in the past. Check your status to see if you are eligible to sealed records, verify status of old cases, and remove old warrants. And this is going to be on Friday, July the 15th. I can email that to Candace.
Yeah, now where's the location they're holding the event?
So the location is going to be at 1400 East 55th Street at the NORA, the Northern Ohio Recovery Association in Cleveland, Ohio, 44103. And the reason why I share that is because, you know, so many of our young people, and the reason why a lot of these folks are not working is because they have these records and they don't have the resources, nor do they know the resources on how they may be able to get some of these expungements resolved. So whenever I run across anything like this, I always share with the community.
All right.
Okay,
Very good.
thanks for having me.
Okay, and we'll be talking to you before next week so we can get you scheduled as part of the traffic.
Okay.
So you'll have your spot. Thank you. We need you. Help people up to date. Okay, before I close out this session on the visit today by them giants, anybody else say anything else?
No, I just wanted to say that also the Hispanic contractor leader was there too, and he was advocating for collaboration with the black and brown communities coming together to fight for our communities to get better jobs and to get those contracts from different companies. Because he said that Cleveland Clinic's got $15 billion to work with. So he want to continue to make sure that we get our share, our part of the pie in terms of contracts with these big companies in our communities.
Very good, very good. And I enjoyed the young man who spoke first in that group. Mr. James Jerome Bell, did you happen to get his name? Either one of you? We'll locate him.
Okay.
Because he wants to get in touch with the African American community.
Yeah, we're
He wants
close.
more meetings like today.
Right.
And we want to help him with that. Okay. Ms. Candace, before I move forward, have we heard from Mr. Panicus?
No, Mr. Panicus is not with us right now. I know he is in Detroit, and he is part of Go Love Life, so he's probably, gearing up on activities to get ready for that doubleheader weekend.
Okay. And give it a date one more time for the doubleheader weekend.
Starting Friday, July 22nd, Snap Delivered will have a session. And again, Snap Delivered will be coming live from Dallas, Texas, or live streaming from here in Cleveland. But Friday night will be a opportunity so that you can get introduced to Snap Delivered, which is a food delivery service, and other delivered opportunities with Snap Delivered as well. The ERC program will also be launched and talked about that weekend as well. So Snap Delivered will start Friday at 7 p.m. and the events will go into Saturday, starting at 9 a.m. to 5 on Saturday. The other part of that doubleheader is the Goal of Life, where we will have in Cleveland, Ohio, we will have Robert Dean here in Cleveland, and he will be joining us at the in Independence. And the location for that will be 6200 Rockside Woods Boulevard, Independence, Ohio 44131, Suite 320. So you don't want to miss any of the opportunities going on in this doubleheader weekend. So take advantage of the opportunities available because everybody needs some money, whether it's a little bit or a lot.
Okay.
And before we close out, I just want to express that everybody, if you haven't voted in the primary that will be taking place August 2nd, 2022 in Ohio for the Ohio Senate and Ohio State Representative positions will be on the ballot. Please go out and vote. You can vote early at the Board of Elections, or you can vote by mail, but you must get your application for the ballot as soon as possible because it's limited time right now. So don't forget, tell your neighbors and friends, because believe it or not, a lot of people don't realize that there is an election going on August 2nd.
Early voting and everything has started, right?
Yes, early voting started on July the 6th. Voter registration to be able to vote at the for the August 2nd ended July the 5th. But if you're not a registered voter, you can still register to vote for the November election, the general election that's taking place in November. So if you're not registered, please go and register so you can at least participate in that election.
Okay, very good, very good. Okay. Now I will share some of my thoughts about the visit today of Reverend Jesse Jackson
Yes.
and President CEO Charles Steele of the Southern Christian Leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them were calling for unity today. And I think this is an opportunity for us to make Greater Cleveland the unity area of the nation, of the groups coming together. In fact, you can remember that Reverend Jesse Jackson wanted to know when could he come back. He's anxious to get started again. He's anxious to start up Rainbow Push again.
Yes.
And I think we need a Rainbow Push. It's what we need at this time because we need someone from outside to keep the wheel turning. Because the wheel kind of stopped in Greater Cleveland,
Yes.
and we can't allow that to happen. We were the lead city of the nation with the first African-American mayor elected in the United States. Then we had the first African-American elected to Congress from Ohio, out of Greater Cleveland area. So we have to keep this rolling. So I'll be calling on those of you who were at the luncheon today. Get ready. Ms. Gwen Jarvis, if you're still listening, and we're going to take that list that we started today and we're going to add some names to it. And we're going to talk about putting that group together as the anchor tenant for the new movement. So
Okay.
we had a dozen people that day that we had from our group. All of our podcast people plus close friends and family to join us. Those who are listening and looking, get ready. Let me say, people get ready.
People get ready.
People get
We'll get a
ready.
double dose of people get ready now, because it's that time. And look up the Washington poll on the presidential race, and you'll get a shock.
33%. Yes. Rating.
People say if Biden runs and Trump runs, 20% of people say they finished with going to the poll. And that's normally about 1 or 2% of the people always say that. But nobody had ever seen 20% say they would. So we got to get this whole operation moving, because we're in a bad shape now. And with inflation, there's no way that it's going to stop this year. It's going through the roof. And we had things like the baby formula.
Oh, yeah.
And then 2 weeks after we started up, it had to shut down again because of the floods and everything. And we're still behind on the baby formula. So it's going to take a collective coming together to do it. So that's what we're going to need. Is this Glenn Jarvis still out there in what I could have called me? Mr. James Jerome Bell?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay. Now you heard Reverend Jesse Jackson today speak about coming back to Cleveland,
Yes.
and so we want to be ready when he comes back. We'll be calling a group today.
Okay.
The
May
group
I
that
say
we had
something?
a dozen people. We had a dozen people that I personally invited to join the group today, and I'll be calling on them shortly. Might be as early as this weekend, according to our calendar. I'd like to get it while it's fresh to see what we can do to make this move between Atlanta, Georgia, Chicago, and Cleveland. Very seldom that you have two national leaders at one lunch in Greater Cleveland. But that happened today. Two national leaders. And the bonus that we had was we had the new African-American president of Cuyahoga County College. And he brought a wealth of information with him, and he's ready to go to work. So we'll put whatever we can to help, because he was asking for help. Because they have all them programs down there, and they have plenty of money. Every time there's a tax issue on the ballot, everyone votes for Tri-C, because they've been doing it a long time, helping people who can't help themselves getting through college, in between the big college and the community college. And that's awesome.
Yes, it is.
One of the things very few people know, if you're 65 or older, go free.
Yes, okay.
Councilwoman, state rep, Auntie Vermeil Wheeler sponsored that law many, many years. And maybe we better bring that up, do some research. Bill, you're good. Make a note of that. We're going to talk about that next week. Well, he made a appeal for seniors 3 times a day. You know how I take notes.
Mm-hmm. He said
Come back to,
the young and old.
yeah, right. He did that 3 times, Ms. Candace, because they want to help. Because the population is getting older,
Yes.
and they want them to get some of this education while they can. And that's going. The more people get educated, close to the
2 minutes.
wealth gap will close. That's our biggest problem. The wealth gap is much too large. It's been too large a long time. Do we have anything else, Ms. Candace, that we need to cover?
Yes, Mike Seals is in another meeting right now, so he was not able to join, but I wanted to make the announcement about his campaign fundraiser, Fish Fry, this Friday, July 15th, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. It is at 2234 East 55th Street, 44103. There will be a choice of perch or catfish dinners available for a $20 donation.
And I'm proud to announce that the podcast, all our members have got a ticket. And some of them got their money in, but they better have their money in by Friday. And we took care of that today at Mountains, Candace, so,
Okay.
yeah. And our arrival time, we try to make it convenient for everybody. We want to get there about 6, so we can get a table together. Oh, we might start that, putting a piece together. That's it, Friday.
And there will be live music, I mean, not live music, but there will be music there as